Have you ever felt that someone might love you, but just won't say it? You sense it in the way he looks at you, the pauses in his words, or the strange tension when you're together. It's as if something deep is being hidden, not because he doesn't care, but because he cares too much. According to Carl Jung's ideas on the unconscious mind and emotions, love isn't always expressed directly. Sometimes it hides beneath behavior, silence, and contradictions. In this video, we'll explore 7 hidden signs that a man is in love but is hiding it through a Jungian lens to help you see what's really going on beneath the surface. So let's dive into the psychology behind the mask. 1. His actions contradict his words. This is one of the first and strongest signs. He says, "I don't see you that way," yet he finds excuses to be around you. He insists you're just friends, but he remembers tiny details about you, like your favorite song or the way you take your coffee. In Jungian psychology, this kind of contradiction reflects the conflict between the persona and the shadow. The persona is his mask he wears, his public self, logical and controlled. The shadow is his hidden emotional world, where his true feelings, desires, and fears live. When love starts to awaken, these two parts clash. He might say one thing, but his unconscious reveals another. He'll act caring, protective, or jealous without realizing it. Example: imagine a colleague who teases you often, yet gets slightly defensive when you talk about other men. That's not random. It's the shadow leaking through the persona. My opinion, the more someone tries to rationalize away their feelings, the deeper they usually are. Suppression is rarely a sign of indifference. It's often a sign of emotional intensity. 2. He mirrors you without knowing it. Have you noticed how sometimes people start to move, talk, or even breathe like the person they're emotionally connected to? That's not coincidence. That's psychological mirroring, a deeply unconscious behavior. From a Jungian view, this happens because of emotional resonance. The unconscious seeks harmony with what it's drawn to. When he's in love but afraid to admit it, his psyche still tries to synchronize with yours. You'll see it in subtle things. He uses the same expressions you do. He laughs when you laugh. He adjusts his posture when you change yours. It's like a dance between two unconscious minds. Real-life example. You're talking with a friend, and without noticing, he leans in when you lean in, or his tone softens when yours does. That's not acting. It's instinctive alignment. My comment? It's beautiful, actually. Even when love is hidden, the body speaks. The unconscious refuses to stay quiet for long. 3. He tries to control his feelings around you. When a man hides his love, it's usually not because he doesn't feel, it's because he feels too much. And strong emotions can be terrifying, especially for someone who values control, logic, or pride. So what does this look like in daily life? He might avoid eye contact when emotions get intense, suddenly change the subject when things get personal, pull away right after a moment of connection. He's not playing games, he's protecting himself from what his mind can't fully handle. For example, you share something emotional, he listens deeply, but then jokes it off or acts cold right after. That's emotional defense. My take? The stronger the self-control, the deeper the emotional struggle underneath. Love doesn't always show up as passion. Sometimes it shows up as restraint. 4. He gets jealous but doesn't admit it. Jealousy is one of the clearest signs of hidden affection, especially when it's subtle or denied. He might not say anything, but his mood changes when you mention another guy. He becomes quieter, distracted, or slightly sarcastic. In Jungian view, jealousy often comes from the shadow self, the part of us that holds desires we can't accept. He might see himself as rational, above such emotions, but deep down, his unconscious reacts because love is being threatened. Example: let's say you're out with friends and you mention a guy who texted you. He smiles and says, "Oh, that's nice." But his tone shifts. His body language changes. shoulders tense, voice lower. That's his unconscious speaking louder than his words. Analytical note. Jung believes emotions like jealousy are not bad, they're signals from the psyche, revealing attachment. When someone hides love, jealousy becomes the emotional leak, the feeling that escapes no matter how hard he tries to control it. My reflection? If you ever notice this kind of quiet jealousy, don't rush to judge. It often means he's fighting something real inside, something he doesn't yet have the courage to face. 5. He becomes emotionally distant after moments of closeness. Have you ever noticed someone pull away right after a deep or intimate conversation? You share something meaningful, the energy feels real, and then suddenly he becomes distant, distracted, or even cold. It's confusing, right? But psychologically, this is a classic defense mechanism. From a Jungian perspective, this is the ego protecting itself from the unconscious. When feelings of love rise to the surface, they challenge his self-image, the idea of who he thinks he is or how he wants to be seen. If he sees himself as independent, rational, or unaffected, love threatens that stability. So, after emotional closeness, he retreats, not because he doesn't care, but because he cares too much and feels overwhelmed. Example: you both share a deep laugh, maybe a moment that feels emotionally charged. Then he suddenly says he's busy, leaves early, or stops texting for a while. That's emotional recoil. His unconscious stepped forward for a second, and his conscious mind panicked. My insight: the distance isn't rejection, it's fear. Fear of exposure, of losing emotional control, of being seen. And ironically, that fear is often the clearest sign of real love. Jungian connection. Jung believed that what we repress often has the most power over us. So when love is hidden, it doesn't disappear. It grows in the shadows. And sometimes that inner tension makes a man run away from the very person he loves most. 6. He opens up emotionally, but only in subtle ways. Some men express love not through direct confession, but through emotional hints. He won't say, "I love you," but he'll share personal stories, reveal his vulnerabilities, or tell you things he doesn't tell anyone else. That's emotional intimacy, disguised as just conversation. Carl Jung's theory of the anima, the feminine energy within every man, helps explain this. When a man feels a strong emotional connection with a woman, his anima awakens. It makes him more reflective, emotional, even poetic in subtle ways. He might talk about his dreams, fears, or family. He'll show you his softer side, not to impress you, but because he feels safe. Real-life example. He jokes around with everyone, but with you, he suddenly gets serious. He shares a memory from childhood or admits something painful. That's his way of saying, "You're not like the others." My comment: love isn't always loud. Sometimes it whispers through small emotional truths, the kind he wouldn't dare tell anyone else. Psychological note. When he opens up even a little, that's his unconscious seeking connection. He may not label it as love, but his psyche already knows. Analytical thought. This is also where friendship often transforms into love. It's in those quiet moments of honesty that the heart speaks, even when the lips don't. 7. He feels a deep spiritual or emotional pull he can't explain. This is the final and most profound sign. Sometimes, love isn't logical, it's symbolic. It feels like destiny, familiarity, or a connection beyond words. From Jung's point of view, this is the realm of the collective unconscious, the deep layer of the psyche where symbols, archetypes, and soul connections live. When two people meet and feel an instant resonance, it's not just chemistry. It's two unconscious worlds recognizing each other. He might not call it love, but he feels drawn to you in ways he can't rationalize. Maybe he dreams about you. Maybe your presence calms him or triggers something he's never felt before. Example: he says things like, "I don't know why, but you feel familiar," or "I feel like I've known you forever." That's not poetic talk. It's the psyche speaking. Jung called this a numinous experience, a moment when you feel something larger than yourself, something spiritual. When love hides, it often hides here, in the quiet, mysterious pull between two souls. My reflection: I've seen people deny this kind of connection, trying to bury it under logic or fear. But the truth is, the heart recognizes what the mind tries to ignore. When he feels that deep pull,
and tries to hide it, that's not weakness. That's evidence of a love that's spiritual, not just emotional. In summary, before the conclusion, let's quickly recap the 7 hidden signs he's in love but hiding it through a Jungian lens. His actions contradict his words, persona versus shadow. He mirrors you unconsciously, emotional resonance. He tries to control his feelings, fear of vulnerability. He gets jealous but denies it. The shadow leaks emotion. He becomes distant after closeness, ego protection. He opens up subtly, anima awakening. He feels a deep spiritual or emotional pull he can't explain. Soul-level connection. Each of these signs reveals how love operates below the surface and the realm of the unconscious. The more he hides it, the more it shows, just in different forms.
Understanding hidden love through Jung's lens. Now that we've explored the 7 signs, let's go a little deeper. Because recognizing hidden love isn't just about him, it's also about you. Carl Jung believed that relationships are mirrors. Every person we meet reflects something back to us. So if you sense that someone is in love but hiding it, it might also reveal something about your own inner world. Maybe you're drawn to the mystery because it resonates with a part of you that also hides emotion. Maybe his silence triggers your own longing for emotional openness. Jung called this process projection, when our unconscious feelings are reflected through another person. It's not manipulation or imagination. It's how the psyche tries to communicate through symbols and experiences. So before asking, why is he hiding it, it's worth asking, what part of me is drawn to someone who hides? That question transforms the situation from confusion into self-awareness. And that's the real heart of Jungian psychology. Why some men hide their feelings? Let's be honest, love can be terrifying. For many men, expressing deep emotion can feel like losing control. From childhood, many are taught that showing vulnerability is weakness. Society says, be strong, don't cry, don't fall too hard. So when love shows up, the instinct is to hide it. Not because they don't feel, but because they were never taught how to feel safely. Jung would say this is the repression of the anima, the inner feminine energy that allows emotional expression in empathy. When a man suppresses that energy, love turns into silence, distance, or mixed signals. But that silence doesn't mean emptiness. It often means he's battling between the mind and the heart, between who he thinks he should be and who he truly is. My personal thought? Sometimes the quietest men love the loudest, just not in words. How to recognize real depth. It's easy to confuse emotional confusion with disinterest, but when love is real, even if it's hidden, it leaves clues, consistency, care, and emotional presence. Ask yourself, does he show up when it matters? Does he listen deeply? Does he protect your peace even without saying, I love you? Those are the quiet languages of love, the ones that psychology often overlook, but Jung would deeply understand. He once said that feelings are the bridge between conscious and unconscious life. So even when someone hides their love, their behavior becomes that bridge, the way their unconscious heart speaks through actions. Example, he remembers something small you said weeks ago. He helps you when you don't ask. He looks at you differently when he thinks you're not watching. Those are not coincidences. They're emotional footprints. My reflection? If you want to understand love, don't listen only to words. Observe energy. Because energy, attention, effort, presence, never lies. A Jungian view of hidden love. Transformation. In Jungian terms, love isn't just an emotion, it's alchemy. When we love, something inside us begins to change. Love forces the shadow to surface, the ego to soften, and the soul to awaken. That's why people act strange when they fall in love. They're not just reacting to another person, they're reacting to their own transformation. When he hides his feelings, it might not just be fear. It might be that his soul is being stirred in ways he doesn't yet understand. He's facing parts of himself that have been asleep. So, what should you do? Don't chase. Don't demand confessions. Instead, create emotional safety.
a space where his unconscious feels free to speak. Because love, like truth, can't be forced. It must be invited. Cultural and modern perspective. In today's world, people often talk about clear communication and just saying how you feel. And yes, that's important. But the reality is, not everyone has learned that emotional language yet. Carl Jung reminds us that human behavior is not only logical, it's symbolic. So when a man hides his love, he's communicating in the language of symbols: silence, protection, attention, distance, or even jealousy. If you look closely, you'll see that love has many dialects, and not all of them are verbal. In some cultures, especially traditional ones, love is shown through responsibility, care, and quiet devotion, not words. Jung's insights help us respect that subtle form of affection, to see love not just as romance, but as a deep psychological journey. What hidden love teaches us? When someone hides love, it teaches us patience. It teaches us to read energy, not only speech. It teaches us that not every connection needs to be labeled. Some are meant to transform us. And sometimes the one who hides love becomes your greatest teacher, the person who awakens you the need to understand emotion at a deeper level. Jung would say that such relationships are part of individuation, the process of becoming whole. They push us to integrate both the rational and the emotional, the light and the shadow, the seen and the unseen. So, if you've ever loved someone who couldn't say it out loud, remember, the experience itself is meaningful. It's shaping you. It's teaching you how to love consciously. Conclusion: a personal message to the viewer. Love is never just about two people. It's about two souls trying to evolve. When he hides his feelings, it's not rejection, it's a sign of an inner battle. Maybe he's still learning to trust himself, or maybe he's waiting until it feels safe to be seen. So instead of trying to decode him, focus on understanding him through patience, empathy, and awareness. And most importantly, don't lose your own emotional truth in the process. Because when you stay true to your feelings, calm, grounded, and open, it gives others permission to do the same. Final reflection and call to action. So, what do you think? Do you believe that people can truly love and still hide it? Have you ever felt a connection like that? One that was real but unspoken? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your experiences. If this video helped you see love from a deeper psychological angle, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because we explore the hidden sides of human behavior every week through the timeless wisdom of Carl Jung and modern psychology. And remember, sometimes the heart speaks loudest in silence.